already getting in trouble here. We'll talk about that in a moment. Meantime, champion cyclist Lance Armstrong's been stripped of his record 7 Tour de France titles amid damning doping allegations. Canadian professional wrestler Trish Stratus, also 7-time champion. But nothing to do with doping, of course. Joining us now is Trish Stratus, newly signed fitness and nutrition consultant for the Liquid Nutrition Group on the TSX. Good to have you with us.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Wow. What goes through your mind when you hear about a fellow athlete hitting these allegations?
I think it just comes down to choices. You know, you hear it, and it's, you know, in any sporting world, you're going to be surrounded by it. If it happens, it'll come up, especially in the wrestling world. But it's about choices. It's about making the choices that you do in your career, and you know, obviously some bad career choices were made. Because
that extends beyond the career you're in at the time the allegations hit too. You know, you've got your own personal brand, as I'm sure Mr. Armstrong with his Livestrong, etc., had his own thing going on. What does Trish Stratus bring to a TSX-listed company?
Well, here's the thing. When I retired from wrestling in 2006, it was about finding the right partners to help me deliver my message. And my message has always been, if I go back from, you know, wrestling, I started in 2000. Before that, I was in the fitness industry. I was just, you know, trying to get people healthy and fit. That was my message. And so just when I retired, you know, it was interesting. I mean, I saw a lot of people came up to me and said, can you slap your name on this? Energy drinks and all kinds of, you know, interesting products. But it's about choices. It's about finding the right brands, the right partnerships, and aligning yourself with people that have the same message. So coming to Liquid Nutrition, I mean, I'm aware of the people. I've met everybody on board. Glenn Young, the president, I've known him for years. You know, he was with IMG before. We had a relationship from WWE. So, yeah, it's just aligning yourself with people that are spreading the same message. So for me now, when I'm focused on my brand, that's what I'm doing. I'm out there educating people, and what they're doing is providing, like, you know, the health and fitness world, it's a pretty difficult world to navigate. People know. I mean, it's difficult to go out there. There's so much information. So if I can provide tools for them and help guide people, Liquid Nutrition is a great example of letting me do that.
Well, it's interesting what you brought up, because you often here at the business channel, we would think about a spokesperson and what the impact of that spokesperson would have on the brand of the company, but it's a two-way street.
Oh, yeah. Oh, for sure. You know, it's interesting you bring it up, because when I first retired, going on, I know it sounds funny, but Twitter, to me, is, you know, you have your finger on the pulse of what's out there. When I first retired, my Twitter feed would be all about my championships and how I kicked butt and this and that. And then I thought, you know, I started with my yoga studio, which was up in Vaughan, and that was my first sort of foray into the health and fitness world, and started to build my brand. And then I produced a yoga video, and I remember thinking, well, would my wrestling fans care about a yoga video? So I just started tweeting about it, started putting out there, and then you'd see my Twitter feed would turn from, you know, hey, you kicked her butt, to, hey, I'm taking the stairs today, Stratus for a living. And so you're influencing people, and you see that they come along for the ride, and so now you see you can touch more people, you spread your message further. So yeah, you know, it's an interesting way to sort of approach that.
So you've got wrestling fans who are following you in a personal fitness / environment, because I can't make the connection here by and large, because our segment producer responsible for you being here in the first place, I can't possibly imagine BJ wearing the tight spandex yoga outfits. I don't even know that I want to.
No, I think that is actually the purpose of me being here today. Actually, you know, I'm signed with Liquid Nutrition, but I'm actually, the purpose for me to get you and all your staff here in spandex.
Yeah, you don't want to see
no?
spandex. I don't have a butt. You need one, I don't.
Well, you just got to squat. You know, that's a simple solution.
Well, there we have it. Now, as far as Liquid Nutrition goes, what's your compensation in this? Do they cut you a check? Do they get you involved in the company? Are you a face, or are you running things behind the scenes, and when they do something that you don't like, all you need to do is flex your muscles? Yeah, well, that'll change everything, right? I'm an equity partner in the company, and so, but there's many levels. I'm actually, you know, we just went down and saw the store at King Street, and you know, I went there. I'm consulting with them. We work together to create a shake that's going to be coming out soon. So I'm very hands-on, because anything I do, I like. Obviously, like I said earlier, I'm not going to slap my name on something. Right. So I'm involved on many levels, and they've been really amazing. And this is why we decided to move forward. Everything from crafting the visuals, the marketing materials, everything, I've been hands-on with them and working side by side with them, because obviously it's important for me to craft my branding and my image as well. And they've been so amazing, and we're sharing this and we're spreading the same message together. So what led you to the decision? Equity stake versus just a pay cut, a paycheck?
No, equity stake is very important to me. It was just it's a good move for me to do business wise. You know, a paycheck is a paycheck, comes and goes. But when you're with someone that's a growing company, and I've seen what they've done, I've seen what they've done so far, and I really believe in this company. And that's what it is for me. Is starting with someone. I mean, you know, I really see that they're spreading the message. Obviously, you know, the smoothie, the functional beverage industry is a huge industry. It's growing right now, and so to be on board at this point is fantastic. But ultimately, I know I just want to grow with the company, and I see people that are ambitious, they're hungry, and they're spreading the same message. 69-cent
stock. Do you now find yourself checking the ticker?
Yeah, that's a whole new thing for me too. Yeah, it's been a neat process to go into this world. It has been a new world for me, and that's what I'm just doing. I'm growing as a businesswoman, growing as my brand, and looking into different opportunities. So it's a whole new world. I'll be hanging out here a lot more.
Watching the ticker.
Yeah, that's
and
right.
Watching to see if I'm actually doing the squats.
Watching to see if you put the spandex outfit on, yeah.
Trust me, we're coming back.
Should we start with the squats or the downward dog? Where do you want to start?
Yeah, the downward dog?
Yes.
Downward facing dog.
Yeah.
Yeah, just my face ends up dissing. You know.
Okay, we're going to work on that.
Okay, and while we work on that, when you talk as a business person expanding, what's next?
I guess, you know, this move for me was a great way to spread my message. Mm-hmm. I've gone into, and it's just I fell into it, but the workout that I do, it's yoga, but I've also come because of my background from fitness. I've kind of taken yoga, and yoga I used to rehabilitate my back. Discovered it, you know, when I was wrestling, and it was something that I thought it's neat for this point in my life. I was using it purely to rehabilitate my back, but then it just stuck with me, and it just became part of my everyday. It became part of my being, and it's the same thing like with liquid nutrition. I sit there and I tell people, you got to have smoothies for breakfast, or you got to, you know. But to me, now having liquid nutrition, pointing someone somewhere is a great thing. So with my studio, I tell people you got to try yoga, and I was preaching about it. I opened the studio, and then I did a video. So it's just like you can spread. You got to kind of practice what you preach, obviously. So now I've just been focusing on targeting different niches and different groups because yoga is so versatile. Someone like you, I think I should do a yoga for business people.
Just keep the ties on. Okay, now the last question, of course, this comes from our segment producer and WWE fan, Bijah, so I have to read it verbatim.
Okay.
You've come out of retirement for special appearances with World Wrestling Entertainment before. Any chance you'll climb into the squared circle again?
Oh, well. You know, retiring is a funny thing when you're a sports entertainer. It doesn't really have the same definition. You never really go away. So I always say if there's a moment where I need to deliver stratisfaction, and those guys know what that means, perhaps.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Trish Stratus, newly signed member of Team Liquid at Liquid Nutrition Incorporated.